Guys, today I just got an email from Deepal saying the S07, their electric SUV, $5,000 discount plus 3 years free servicing. Essentially, you're getting about a $6,000 discount on a car that's already been discounted. This discount is on top of the existing discounts. So this is the kind of car that at this price point, it would be really kind of hard to look past it. If you're looking for a medium-sized electric SUV, the price is just unbelievable. I mean, really incredibly good deal. Let's have a look at the prices because I don't think I've seen a vehicle with these specifications ever in any market on sale at this price, except for China. In China, there's some, but that's the only place that I've seen vehicles of this caliber at this price. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking and the Deepal S07, guys. I actually have one here. Okay, guys, we've got the Deepal S07 here. Very dirty, as you can see. We've been driving it a fair bit. The buttons over here, Cal.
For the
Deepal have given it to me for a couple of weeks to drive it. I've driven it from Sydney back to Newcastle, from Newcastle to Sydney, back to Newcastle. I've probably done maybe 1,000 kilometers so far. Not sure how happy about that they're going to be, but you know, that's what it's for. So I'm driving it, you know. Anyway, I did just get a little bit of sand in the car yesterday because the boys and I went for a surf and we put our surfboards in the back. So one of my board that I used is a 7-foot board. It's right on 7.0, so exactly 7 foot. And my son, he was riding a 6.7. My little boy, he's riding a 5.4. And we fit all 3 boards in. We did put down one of the seats in the back, and then we could fit all 3 boards in easily. Of course, you couldn't fit them all unless you put one of the seats down. But anyway, they fit really well. So this is a proper full-size car. It's about the size of a Tesla Model Y Xpeng G6. It's 4,750 millimeters long, meaning it's 1.5 or at least one size up from the size of a BYD Atto 3. And it's about the price of a BYD Atto 3, but it has more range. It's got about 470 kilometers of range, has a heads-up display. Atto 3 doesn't have that either. It's got a pretty big battery. It's an 80 kilowatt hour battery. So from my experience, driving it about 1,000 kilometers, you're going to get that range in the real world. The efficiency of the car is pretty much the efficiency I've been achieving and getting so far on the road. So you're realistically going to get about 470 kilometers of real world range. In terms of the power, it's got less power than some of its rivals. 160 kilowatt, 320 newton meters of torque. Torque figure's good, but I'm quite surprised. I think the performance is actually similar to other cars that I've driven with more than 200 kilowatt. When I got in the car, every time I get in, I think this doesn't feel like the power they've quoted. It feels like what Porsche do. You know, Porsche quote numbers and then the power figures are actually higher. I think that's what's happened here, because the other thing is that the torque figure of 320 newton meters is quite high for the power figure of 160 kilowatt. Anyway, either way, it's got plenty of power. It's certainly not a problem of the car. The energy consumption is 18.6 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. I've gotten about 18.7, but considering 80% of the kilometers I've driven have been on the freeway, that seems to be a really, really good number. So you can get this car right now for 45,000 Australian dollars drive away. That's about 29,000 US dollars. That includes taxes, you know, charges, fees, everything else, which makes it an unbelievably good deal. Probably my favorite thing about this car, aside, I love the heads-up display. I think that's great. But my other favorite thing is the look of it. People look at this car like, what is that? And not in a bad way, in a good way. People are like, that's a really good looking car. I honestly think this is one of the best looking mid-sized electric SUVs you can buy. And it really does look cool. Yeah, I mean, is that a big thing to a lot of people? Probably not. There is only one downside to this car. That's the DC charging. DC charging is a peak rate of 92 kilowatt. And in my experience driving it, the suspension's fantastic. The handling's great. It's not like Tesla Model Y handling where it's quite stiff. I think Model Y handling is good, but a little on the stiffer side, which some people like. I like that. But the handling on this car is a really good compromise. I think much better than, for example, the BYD C-Line 7. It's kind of a similar handling to my car that I own, the Xpeng G6. So yeah, very, very good car overall. And for this price, it's a no-brainer. Boot size, 450 litres. It's 1,385 litres with the rear seats folded. But it does have a really big frunk. The frunk is 125 litres. So it's, a lot of cars have a 50-litre frunk, which is pointless. They're kind of so small, they're an afterthought. You don't really think I'm going to use that. Frunk size is 125 litres. You can fit in a proper suitcase in there. So it's an actual good usable space. What else can I tell you about this car? Well, like I said, 3 years of free servicing. It has a Sony sound system, 14 speakers, headrest speakers as well. So if you're using your mobile phone, talking on your phone, then you can have it so it just, the phone, you only hear the phone through the headrest speaker so everyone else can continue listening to music, which is really kind of cool. I like doing that because I don't think my kids want to listen to my conversations, my business conversations. So that's a really cool thing. The Sony sound system as well, the 14 speakers, it's a good sound system. I'd say sounds slightly better than the sound system in my Xpeng G6. There's a 15.6-inch tilting touchscreen. This is my favorite touchscreen, not necessarily for the UI. The UI is good. It's not, I would say Tesla's UI would be the best. The UI is good, but I love the fact that for one, it's big, 15.6 inches. Two, it tilts towards you, so you can see it better than you can in other cars. I think it's a feature that all cars should have. The new Xpeng P7 that I test drove in China a few weeks ago, that has the same feature. It's really a feature that I think everyone should have. Seating. There is heated and ventilated synthetic leather seats. So ventilation and heating in a car, this price it's very unusual. Like I said before, there is a heads-up display. There's no traditional instrument cluster, but the heads-up display means you don't need a traditional instrument cluster, and I think that makes sense. It comes standard with 19-inch wheels, which makes sense as well from a perspective of handling, comfort, cheap tires, and obviously the smaller your wheels are, the more range you're going to get. You can get 20-inch wheels as an option, but I don't recommend it. Warranty. It's got a good warranty. It's a 7-year, 160,000 kilometer vehicle warranty. The battery warranty, though, is one of the best in class. 8 years, 240,000 kilometer battery warranty. Now, guys, like I said, I've been driving this car now for, been about 10 days, done more than 1,000 kilometers. And I'd say that, like I said, the only downside is the DC charging, but I've only had to use the DC charging on one occasion, and it was only for a small top-up. I only needed to use it for about 10 minutes. So it didn't really affect me in a big way. The main thing that has affected me, though, is the AC charging. So right now, I've actually got the car outside on the AC charger. It's running at 11 kilowatt. And 11 kilowatts is totally fine. I think you can get EVs now with 22 kilowatt charging, but I personally don't have my solar panels. Even though I've got 25 kilowatt of solar, the inverters are capped out at 20 kilowatt. So I can't send it for 22 kilowatt from solar. So honestly, for me, the truth is most of the time I'm not even producing that much solar anyway. So for me, 11 kilowatt AC is perfect. I don't like when cars have less than 11. That kind of annoys me. But 11 kilowatt has been totally fine. You can charge in 8 hours from 0 to 100% with 11 kilowatt charging. I've never tried it from 0% because I've never gotten it down that low. But yeah, 11 kilowatt for AC charging has been completely acceptable. If you think about it as well, the cool thing about this car is this is definitely a better car than a Toyota RAV4, right? It's pretty much the same size as RAV4. In fact, it's a little bit bigger than a Toyota RAV4, looks better, and it's actually cheaper than a Toyota RAV4. So thanks to Deepal, we can officially say that EVs are at price parity with internal combustion. In fact, in this case, they're at less than price parity. Tony Seba predicted this would happen. He said about 10 years ago that EVs would become cheaper than internal combustion cars. And this is just the beginning. We're going to see EVs in 10 years from now, they'll be significantly cheaper than internal combustion. That's if internal combustion cars are even on sale anymore. But the point is, in this segment, the medium-sized electric SUV segment, it's true. EVs are cheaper than internal combustion. I mean, this is not the only car you can get in this segment now around this price. It is the cheapest in this segment at this price, but I just tested the Aeon V. That's a similar size to this car, slightly smaller, but that car's about similar price, a couple of $1,000s more. Similar price point, though, to a RAV4, but this car is clearly, I think, in most ways better than a RAV4, and it's cheaper. Clearly, it's come. So Deepal, kind of cool. We can put the title of this video as EVs are now below the price of internal combustion cars here in Australia. And it's not the case for every segment, but it will be eventually. What do you think, guys? Is there anything about this car that that you want to know about? If there is, let me know. Thanks for watching.